Good morning. This is my 25th day after having been infected by the coronavirus, and I wanted to say to you that with God's grace, your blessings and good wishes, I am feeling stronger and stronger with every passing day. And the reason why this is an important message is because for all those friends around the world who are also going through similar symptoms and similar issues, they may get hope from this message that actually the coronavirus is conquerable. I have written a very clear document in regard to cytokine storms and what happens in terms of cytokine storms, as well as what are the 32 steps to take in terms of dealing with this particular virus, what to have by way of nutrition and what to avoid in terms of foods and nourishment that may create problems in the healing process. I've written all of that down. It's available on Facebook, it's available on LinkedIn, it's available via Twitter, and also via WhatsApp messages. So please feel free to use any of those media to get information about the 32 points which I have put forward on my own experience of dealing with more than 100 remedies, and out of those 100 remedies, how I've ended up finding about 8 of them to be particularly useful in preventing my ending up in hospital on 3 separate occasions over the last 25 days. This morning, I want to give you a message of hope. The hope is that we've been doing a lot of mathematical analysis and modeling of the infection rates and death rates. From those models, we can categorically tell you that the figures which we have received from China do not add up. I'm not here to propagate any conspiracy theories or any kind of saying something which other people have been saying. I just simply want to say that the China figures do not add up, the Iran figures do not add up, so we are ignoring the China and Iran figures altogether. The figures we do believe are the Italy figures, the Spain figures, the France figures. Basically all the European countries appear to be putting forward some aspect of a variation on reality and truth, and we subscribe to it. As far as the infection rate is concerned, those numbers are very suspect because depending on what is the regime in place in terms of how many tests are being carried out per capita, those figures can vary quite a lot. So we don't hold much credibility in regard to the infection numbers, other than to recognize them as pointers to where things might be. In terms of mortality, i.e. death rates, those numbers are more reliable. And when analyzing the death rates, it's becoming very clear. Here is the message of hope. It's becoming very clear that the death rate in Italy, Spain, and France is definitely slowing down quite a lot, and on a day-by-day basis is declining. Even on the front of the United Kingdom, the numbers are beginning to slow down, and we may yet hit 1 or 2 numbers along the way on a daily basis which may be record-breaking, but I genuinely believe that we're coming very close to the peak point, and within a few days after that, the numbers ought to start going down. As far as the United States is concerned, the situation is much more complex, and we are concerned that the epicenter of the global coronavirus crisis, based on all our mathematical models, is moving squarely to the United States, with New York State being right at the center of that particular unfolding crisis. it would be inappropriate for me to say anything against the American regime. It's a very polarizing argument to say something positive or negative about the present regime and what they're doing. I would simply say that America is a very large North America is a very large continent. It's a very super connected continent. There are flights left, right, and center which connect the East Coast with the West Coast and with the middle of America. So it would be entirely plausible to say that this crisis has some significant course to run. But having said that, even in the case of the United States, the rate of growth of mortality or death rates is actually coming under control, and it isn't rising as fast as it was even a few days ago. So there is hope in the United States. I do genuinely believe that once the lockdowns are lifted in the coming weeks, then we will see a terrific recovery taking place, and a lot of the stories of doom and gloom that the merchants are putting out, don't believe them. There is a lot of resilience in people, and I genuinely believe humanity will come together and everything will be fine. There's one point I do want to conclude on, and that is the issue of loneliness. A lot of people are feeling lonely, and some of them are feeling a little bit depressed, and some are feeling more than a little bit depressed. I would really urge you to pick up the telephone, talk to some of your friends, talk to your family. Don't make them feel as if they're all alone. Find ways to make contact, email them, speak to them, send them messages, and try to keep connected with each other, because it is only through reinforcing that connectivity do we realize that we are a united society. We are the same people with the same spirit of God in us, and that same light is shining in each and every person, and we have to somehow remain connected with each other, think well of each other, forgive each other, and come together as one humanity to be able to ward off this perilous crisis. But I do believe that it is of its own accord, with the forgiveness of the great spiritual masters, coming to some kind of a conclusion anyway. And so there is a bright future ahead, and we're all part of it. And all the very best to you and to your family, and have a wonderful day today and weeks ahead.